is a very hot and humid day here in the Motor City this afternoon, and while it is very warm outside, the pennant race is starting to heat up as well. As we check out the standings in the American League Central Division, the Tigers lead the Chicago White Sox by 2, and the Minnesota Twins come in 4.5 games back. Things are tightening up a little bit in the American League Central. Welcome inside Comerica Park. We're in downtown Detroit today. Final game in this 3-game series featuring the Minnesota Twins and your Detroit Tigers. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Rod Allen, glad to have you with us for the series finale. Final game of the homestand as well. The Tigers trying to shake off the effects of the whitewash last night, but today is a new day. Jared Washburn is on the hill, Rod, and hopefully some better things today from Jared.
Well, admitted that he was nervous the first time he took the ball for his new team here at Comerica Park 5 days ago, and he struggled early against the Baltimore Orioles. He settled in nicely after that, but at the end of the day, he gave up 6 hits. He also gave up 6 runs. But one of the reasons why they got Washburn is he's been one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. Good sinker ball, rising fastball, slow curveball, changeup, outstanding numbers. They're hoping he shows up here this afternoon.
So Washburn will get the call against a pretty good Minnesota Twins offense. It seems like every year we talk about the Twins pitching. Not so this year. It's more about their offense, and we saw especially last night this team can really hit.
That's one of the reasons why they're in third place right now and not first place, because they don't have the pitching they've had in the past. But take a look how their bats have kind of perked up in the month of August. And really, you look at their batting average overall, they've done a pretty nice job. They've got some speed, which means they're hitting triples. And oh, by the way, they have those M&M boys who just do a tremendous job. One wins the batting title, the other one's in the MVP conversation.
Well, now Mauer and Morneau have been very, very good, and also Jason Kubel. Let's not forget about the tie at the top of their lineup. Denard Span hitting .500 against the Tigers this year.
Well, here's a guy that was the #1 draft choice by the Twins a few years back, so they knew what he could do, and he had huge promise, but I don't think they expected Span to do what he has done. I don't think the Tigers expected him to be hitting .500 against them this year, but all this guy does is pepper the baseball all over the ballpark. He gets set very early. He's not trying to overpower the baseball. He's simply trying to get a lot of singles, and boy, has he gotten a lot of singles in this series.
Yeah, what a table setter he has been for the big boys in their lineup. Tigers with a win today can still take 5 of 7 on this homestand before they head to Boston beginning tomorrow night. Glad to have you with us here this afternoon. Tigers trying to get going offensively. Placido Polanco, he's been hot, 5 for 8 in the series and a 9-game hitting streak. Tigers Twins final game coming up next. Much less than a night out at the movies. And by Arby's Bacon Cheddar Roast Burger Sandwich. Try it today. It'll have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's. Back here at Comerica Park on a gorgeous day for baseball. Speaking of Arby's, if Detroit combines for 3 or more home runs in this game, make sure you bring a copy of the box score to Arby's tomorrow. Get a free regular roast beef sandwich. You can find a copy of the box score in your local newspaper or at foxsports.com in the Major League Baseball section. Well, Denard Span is their leadoff hitter, and what a series he has had. 9 hits. He'll try and get the Twins offense going again here this afternoon. Their starting lineup is brought to you by the Romani Eye Institute. It features Span at the top, followed by Orlando Cabrera, the shortstop. Joe Mauer is the DH. Justin Morneau is at first base. Michael Kadire in right field. Delman Young in left field. Redmond, Punto, and Alexi Casilla rounding out the lineup today for the Minnesota Twins. Here is the Dodge scouting report on left-hander Jared Washburn.
They say that the first one is always the hardest, and that's exactly what Washburn will be looking to do here this afternoon, get his first win for his new team. He has pitched well this year against the Twins. He's 1-0 with an earned run average under 1, and you were talking about Denard Span. That is one of the Twins that he has had success against. I'm talking about Washburn. Span 1 for 10 with 4 Ks against Jared. Let's take a look at the defense behind Washburn in the ball game this afternoon. You got Timms making his first start of this series in left, Granderson in center, Ordonez in right, Inge, Santiago, Polanco, Cabrera round out the infield. Gerald Laird back behind the plate for the second consecutive day.
Well, a good start to this one would be keeping Denard Span off the bases here. They just have not been able to do that in this series. Span is coming in today hitting an even 300. You see his series numbers on the bottom there. Just amazing. He is hitting 500 this year against the Tigers pitching. Washburn ready to go to work, and the first pitch of the ball game is in there. A strike call. Span, then Cabrera, then Mauer on a nice warm day here in the Motor City. 88 degrees. The 0-1. Quickly 0-2 on Span.
Apparently Ron Gardenhire this afternoon believes his left-handers will do something against Washburn. 3 of the first 4 hitters, all left-handed. All of them struggle as well against Washburn.
Fouled straight back.
Ron Gardenhire was posed the question yesterday, is there a left-hander that is playing today that you would consider not playing Mauer and Morneau against? And he said, no, there's no one out there that I would consider not playing them against.
It would be hard to believe there would be somebody out there.
Randy Johnson would have had them both sitting down in his day, though.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, I would agree with that. There were many a good left-handed hitter that came to the ballpark on Randy's day.
Day off.
Yep.
The only one that played with regularity against Randy Johnson was Barry Bonds. He was the only one.
1-2 is in the air. Granderson coming over in center field, and Span is out to start this one. 1 gone.
Thinking of a couple of other left-handers that may have had Morneau and Mauer sitting down. 2 lefty. Steve Carlton with that slide piece may have given one of them a day off every now and then.
Absolutely. But not too many of them, though. Here's Orlando Cabrera. Cabrera is enjoying an 18-game hitting streak right now. It took him his last at bat last night, though, to extend it.
He snuck it in, didn't he?
He sure did, and he hit it out to the wall. It was a triple.
He's a good player. Plays both sides of the ball, wins Gold Gloves. He's got some leadership skills, and he's a winner. He comes to win.
One ball, 1 strike. Here are the splits on Jared Washburn against lefties and righties. Of course, this year he's been good against just about everybody. 242 right-handers batting against him. That's not all that good either. Here's a shallow pop. Polanco in short right, 2 gone.
I thought it was a misprint, though, when I was looking at his numbers against Morneau and Mauer. Neither hitting 200 against him because they are good in general against left-handed pitching. But Washburn has held Mauer to a 154 batting average and Morneau 190.
Well, they typically are over or near 300 against left-handed pitching, but Washburn appears to be the exception. Mauer, the DH, having a great series. He has homered in each of the first 2 games in the series, had 6 RBIs.
And Mauer, it seems like he's always in the proper hitting position when he decides to swing that bat. Real nice balance, not afraid to take a strike. One of the best left-handed hitters in the game today, bar none. Looks like they got a little bit of a shift on with Mauer here. Santiago playing almost up the middle.
And there's the ball hit up the middle, and how about that? He found a seam in that shift, and he bangs it through for yet another hit, his 7th hit in the series.
He's a bad boy. He's just a bad boy.
I mean, when you look at guys like this and you wonder how to play them defensively, I'm not sure there's any place you really can play them.
And you really don't know how to pitch them either. Just throw the ball down the middle and hope they hit the ball at somebody. Look at the weight transfer. And very seldom out in front, as I said, and just seems to always put the ball in play with authority.
There's Justin Morneau with 2 outs. A couple of RBIs in the series. Morneau leads the American League, having driven in 91. So he is well on his way to reaching the 100 plateau yet again.
In the same shift, you see Polanco shaded over in the hole, and Santiago basically playing the same spot he was playing when Mauer was up.
This should become the 4th consecutive year that Morneau knocks in 100 or more.
Albert Pujols has now done it 9 straight times. Albert Pujols got his 100th RBI in their ball game last night. 9 straight times. 100 ribbies or more.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Hank Aaron didn't do that. Willie Mays did not do that.
What sets him apart? I mean, most of the guys at this level have great hand-eye coordination.
His legs are so strong. He's got balance. He's got confidence. He's got some other intangibles that go in that we don't see. That makes him the player that he is. There are more players that are more gifted than Pujols, but I don't think their concentration level is the same.
2-2 the count.
That sets him apart.
The concentration level.
Yes, the concentration level, the confidence.
Washburn making his 2nd start in a Tigers uniform. The 2-2 is just off the plate. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Washburn had a long look for Doug Eddings, as if to say, whoa, that was close enough to call a strike.
And it sure was.
So with a 3-2 count, Mauer will get a head start. And the runner goes. And strike 3 is called on Morneau. Well, you can't take 2 of those in a row. First strikeout of the ball game for Jared Washburn. Here come the Tigers in the bottom of the 1st. Check out the Tigers starting lineup. It is presented to you by Big Boy. It features Curtis Granderson in center field. Placido Polanco at second base. Marcus Thames gets the start in left. He's hitting third. Miguel Cabrera is at first. Carlos Guillen, the DH. Maglio with good numbers against Baker. Inge at third. Laird will catch. Santiago will play short. The Bernstein advantage brings you the scouting report on Scott Baker of the Twins. Get the Bernstein advantage. We go to bat for you.
He's been racking up quite a few strikeouts this year, has Baker, and he does not walk a lot of people. He has been one of your better pitchers in baseball since the break. He's 2-0 with an earned run average of 1.38, and he is a control freak. He is always around the plate, so the Tigers need to be ready to swing those sticks, and he gives up quite a few home runs because he's a fly ball pitcher.
Here's Curtis Granderson to lead it off against the right-hander Baker.
Warm, humid day like today, balls tend to carry a little further.
There's a line drive to right, base hit. Curtis takes a wide turn. It's booted by Kadire. He'll get into second base. And the Tigers are off and running today on what should be a single and an E9.
And Tigers have a chance of scoring first today versus being behind the last couple of days. That's that high fastball that I talked about that Baker will feature, and Granderson got on top of it and rifled it down in the right field corner. You will not see this very often. Kadire miscuing a ball in the outfield. Granderson was entertaining the thought of going 2 anyway, and that's why Kadire got over there in a hurry. And as a fielder, when you know that guy may be trying to take that extra base, sometimes you rush and you don't come up with the ball cleanly. That's what happened there to Kadire.
Single E9. Here's Polanco. Time called now by Mike Redmond. He'll walk out to the mound very early here to talk to his pitcher.
The Tigers will need to manufacture a run here in the first inning. They've got the perfect guy standing in the batter's box to at least get Granderson over to third. And if he's lucky enough, he'll drive him in. He's had a good series.
5 hits in the series for Polanco, a 9-game hitting streak. You're giving him the third base line. Figuring Polanco will try and go the other way here. Baker's 1-0. Tossed him inside. 2 balls, no strikes. There's that wide opening down at third base, and it, I guess, just stands to reason that if a pitcher knows in this situation that a hitter is trying to advance the runner, try and make it as difficult as possible on him. Baker missing way inside that time, though. 2-0. Polanco, one of the best in the American League at handling the bat. And boy, has he really turned it on now offensively. 272. That's lifted in the air toward right center field, and it's going to be caught on a dive by Denard Span. Granderson has to dive back into the bag at second base. Span is having an unbelievable series.
Curtis got greedy. Curtis should be standing on third base right now, but he got greedy. He did not think Span was going to catch this ball. Therefore, he got caught in no man's land, and by the time Span did come in and catch it, Granderson could not get back to tag. If Granderson simply goes back to the bag to tag, he's on third base right now. He thought that ball was going to drop.
Kevin Rand now is going to be called out and then sent back. Curtis says, I'm okay. Diving back into the bag. He probably got some dirt in his eye. So Span makes a terrific catch in right center field. Granderson staying at second base, and now Marcus Thames. Marcus with 11 home runs this year. Tried to get out of the way, and it's strike 1. So Jim Leyland has decided.
Take one more look at Granderson. You can see right there, he's in no man's land. He was getting ready to go back to the bag, and then he thought, you know what? He's not going to catch this. I could score. And then he had to scurry to get back. But as I said, in that situation, you just don't want to be too greedy.
The 0-1 pitch is pulled foul down the third base line. 0-2 on Thames.
Marcus has got some decent numbers against Baker. It's one of the reasons why he's playing today. Baker likes to throw lots of fastballs, and Marcus is a good fastball hitter. Three home runs against Scott Baker for Marcus.
Saying before the game, he primarily has his right-handed batting lineup in there against the righty because right-handers hit about 30 points higher against Baker than lefties do, despite what conventional wisdom would tell you. Right-handers have had better numbers, so Thames is in there in place of Clee Thomas today. 0-2 on Marcus. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One more home run for Marcus to get to the 100 plateau.
Most of Baker's breaking balls have stayed up. He has not really thrown a good breaking ball in this game yet. I don't know if because it's hot and it's humid, his hands are sweating or what, but there's another one that kind of just slipped out of his hand.
Is the warmer weather more conducive to breaking balls than the colder weather?
Well, I mean, if you're sweating out there and your hands are slippery, it might be a little tough to break off a really good breaking ball today. But they do have that rosin bag behind the plate, behind the mound, which will allow you to go and get some rosin to get a good feel.
Thames goes down on strikes. First strikeout of the game for Baker, and so Granderson's still at second.
Baker's going to give you a lot of strikes, and this is pretty much his signature pitch right here. If the Tigers are not able to lay off of this pitch, the remainder of the afternoon, Baker will be out there for a while, and he will have success because he throws a lot of those pitches.
So a 2-out chance for Miguel Cabrera. Runner breaking for third. Here comes the throw from Redmond. Not in time, and there you have it. Curtis Granderson has become a 2020 man for the second time in his career as he steals third base.
I was kind of hoping Granderson would gamble when Marcus was up there and try to steal third base, but apparently they relaxed the defense a little bit on him with Cabby standing there. I believe the Minnesota Twins are thinking Granderson, there's no way he's going to try to steal third with Cabrera in the batter's box, and he caught their defense napping. Granderson only the third player in Tigers history to have 20 or more home runs, 20 or more steals multiple times. There are the other two. You've heard of those two, I think. Gibson and Trammell.
They were pretty good. Swing and a miss, 2-1.
When you think about all the great players, though, that have played in a Tigers uniform, only 3 guys have done it 2 times or at least twice.
I would think that in the 100-plus years history of Tigers baseball, there would be more than 2. Now 2-2 on Cabrera. I mean, you're talking about some great players that had a good combination of speed and power throughout the history of this organization. And a lot of them are out there out in center field. You start with Ty Cobb and Greenberg and Gehringer. Not all of those guys had the power aspect of their game, but
K-Line with all the numbers he was putting up every year.
Yeah. Driven foul back out of play. 2-2 on Miguel Cabrera, just underway. We're in the bottom of the first. The series finale here, and really kind of a pivotal game when you look at the standings. Because if the Tigers win here today, they will take 2 out of 3 from Minnesota and push them 5.5 out. And while that is not insurmountable, they do have 2 teams ahead of them. There's still a lot of baseball to be played. Driven into left field, hit pretty well. Delman Young is going to get there, and the Tigers will strand a man in scoring position. No runs and a hit, an error, 1 man left. Let's go to the second. Hey, here's our text poll question today. Should the Tigers take a chance on picking up John Smoltz? Text yes or no to 37338 or FSDET. Results coming up after the game on Tigers Live. That guy's texting right now.
Probably texting yes.
I like his shirt. Here's Michael Kadire leading it off. Jared Washburn gave up a single, but no damage. That was in the first inning. Kadire, Young, and Redmond here in the second. 1 ball, 1 strike on Kadire. Washburn this year made his first start of the season against these Twins way back on April 9th, and he really slammed the door on them. 8 innings, 5 hits, no runs. He's had a couple of really good starts against Minnesota this year. Six innings of 1-run ball on June the 6th as well. Here's the 2-1. High towering fly ball hooking down the line and foul. Yeesh.
It's a tough pitch to keep fair. It's that cut fastball that Washburn now throws. It's 2-1. And if you're Kadire, you see it right down the middle, and then all of a sudden it gets in, and you hit it off the end of the bat because you're too quick on it, because you know you're going to get that fastball. Going right back in there. He can do a couple of things now. He could simply go back inside against Kadire if he chose to do so, or he can throw that breaking ball off the plate to catch the corner, change up away, sinker ball away. That outside corner is wide open now.
In the air to center. Anderson, this is going to go over his head. Looked like he had a beat on it over the wall for a ground rule double.
That's a perfect example of having a hitter set up for the next pitch, which he had Kadire set up for. But the difference here is it's something off speed and it stays around the belt buckle. If this ball's down, he gets himself a ground ball, but that ball's up, and that allowed Kadire to just crush it. And we talked about the conditions here, very hot and humid. That ball's carrying as well.
Here's Delman Young. So the Twins get the leadoff man at second base. Young takes a rip. Delman 2 out of 6 in the series, couple of RBIs. Batting .263, only 3 home runs this year. His last homer was July the 3rd. It's been a while since he's hit one. Coincidentally, against the Tigers.
It's been a very difficult year for the youngster, Delman Young. On the baseball field, obviously the numbers this year and last year have not been that good for the Twins. Not nearly as good as the numbers he put up when he was with Tampa before they brought him over. But he also lost his mom this year, and that's always difficult to overcome.
The 0-2. And I think that's part of the game that maybe some of us don't realize that are kind of on the outside. These guys have to perform, and they still have the same types of things happen to them off the field that you and I do.
And moms are so supportive. No matter how you're doing, no matter how bad things are going, they always have a really positive spin on things. And I'm sure he misses that.
Eddie Bonine had to go through the same thing this year for the Tigers. 2-2 on Delman Young. That'll go foul right back toward the tarp, which fortunately we're not going to probably have to use today. At least I hope not. It rained a lot here yesterday and after the game last night, but hopefully that thing right there will stay all wrapped up. It's baking today, I know that. Sunshine, 89 degrees right now. Bouncing ball hit slowly towards short. This will not move the runner up. Young is out, 1 gone.
Nice job of pitching there by Washburn. He just kept pounding Young on the inner third of the plate, which prevented him from doing his job. And that's getting the runner over, as you mentioned.
What's the weatherman saying about today?
Hot and sticky.
How about the heat index?
99. It's a nice day for a cool beverage.
Hot and humid indeed. There's a ground ball, base hit into right field. Redmond goes the other way. Here comes Maglio's throw. It is not in time. And now Redmond is caught between first and second. Polanco will run him back and tag him out, but the run scores. So Redmond makes it a 1-0 game.
Redmond always does a nice job against left-handed pitching. Just a nice little contact hitter, not trying to do a whole lot. Just kind of takes what you give him. Good backup catcher. Hits this ball into right field. Maglio comes up firing because he's got to play on Kadire at home plate. Redmond is running from first base. He doesn't read the throw correctly. If he reads the throw right away, he can get to second base. Also a nice job by Laird vacating his position, coming out to get that ball, and then getting Redmond in a pickle.
Punto will try and bunt his way on. Washburn throws him out. Side retired. Not before they get a run. Now the RBI hit by Redmond. We'll go to the bottom of the second.
Behind Baker in the ball game is presented behind the Bloomfield. They've got a good outfield. They all can run. They've got good arms out there. Young, Span, and Kadire, Punto, Cabrera, Casilla, Morneau. MVP candidate every year at first. Mike Redmond spelling Mauer this afternoon, the day game. Scott Baker is on the mound.
Carlos Guillen leads it off as we head to the bottom of the second. Minnesota is on top 1-0.
Good first pitch curveball there by Baker. Knowing that Guillen sits on those fastballs first pitch.
Guillen, Ordonez, and Inge here in the second. Carlos batting at .229 and 2 for 7 in this series. He's hit a couple of home runs. He's hit some balls hard, just trying to find that consistent stroke. And Jim Leyland has run him out there about every day against right-handed pitching in that DH slot. No balls, 2 strikes.
Carlos has had some really nice numbers in a Tigers uniform since coming from Seattle. He's made 3 All-Star teams. He's been an unselfish player as well. He's changed positions 3 different times. Went from short to first, third, to the outfield. Not complaining about any of it.
Baker is ahead 0-2. And that's slapped back out of play as Guillen wastes one. Tigers have one hit. That was the single by Granderson to start the first. They got him to second base, but couldn't score it. Baker selected in the second round by Minnesota back in 2003. He attended Oklahoma State University. Another Tigers hit batter in this series. Inge was hit last night, and so was Cabrera. Tying run is on now. That'll bring up Maglio. Still hurts.
Looked like it got him on the forearm.
Ordonez has hit safely in 10 of his last 12. Ball one. And again, Redmond out to the mound. Joe Mauer getting the day off of sorts. He is the DH today, and Redmond, the backup catcher, will get the start here in the day games. If you're a backup catcher, you better expect to play a lot during the day.
And it always seems like you play against the toughest pitchers, too. But Redmond always up for the challenge. He's a good leader.
Baker last year an 11-game winner. He has won 9 this year. Back out of play.
Baker got off to a miserable start this year on the road. He was 0-3 in his first 3 road starts. In his next 7, he is 5-0 with 2 no decisions and an earned run average just a shade over 2. So he's been getting busy away from that Metrodome.
He's also pitched well post All-Star break, 2-0 with a 1.39 ERA in 26 innings after the All-Star break. Again, though, it has been the Minnesota offense that has overshadowed the pitching staff this year, and it's usually the other way around. Ian back in there easily. Carlos has 1 stolen base this year.
Well, Maglio hits into a lot of double plays, so if Jim wanted to do something, it wouldn't be all bad. And I think they may be thinking that Guillen may be on the move for that very fact. Maglio has grounded into 14 double plays this year.
And there was a time not too long ago where Guillen would steal some bases. He swiped 20 back in the 06 year, the World Series season for Detroit. And there goes the runner on 2-1. It's slapped in the air. Left side of the infield. So Guillen has to retreat.
Don't know for certain, but it could have been a hit and run. But when you are giving that hit and run to the best of your ability, you want to try to hit the ball on the line or on the ground because you've got the infielders moving, and you just might find a hole.
We'll bring up Brandon Inge. Speaking of the hit and run, a couple of nights ago, Jim Leland employed the hit and run with Polanco up there, and he called for the hit and run on a 3-1 count.
I don't think I've ever heard of that before.
Yeah, we were talking to Jim before the game about that, and he said, well, you've got to trust that your hitter will take the pitch if it's ball 4. That's popped up. Right side of the infield. Morneau for the out. And he feels that Polanco is one of those hitters that he can put the hit and run on 3-1, and if it's not going to be a strike, he certainly has the smarts enough to take it for ball 4.
Yeah, it's usually the other way around. Usually managers will put that runner in motion And obviously the hitter knows the situation. They know the base runner's going. And so it's not necessarily a hit and run, but they will protect that base runner if it's a strike. But that does show a lot of confidence in Polanco to put a hit and run on 3-1.
I guess where it becomes tricky is as a hitter, if you see the hit and run on in your mind, you're automatically assuming I need to swing.
You're in hit mode.
Yeah.
Regardless of where the pitch is.
Gerald Laird with 2 outs.
But I talk about Polanco often, how smart he is and how good a baseball player he is, and that kind of sums it up there. G Money's got to get going again. He was playing pepper with the third baseman yesterday, Punto. He grounded out the third 3 times yesterday. And I think he got a bad hop single in that direction too.
Big swing. 1-2. Laird continues to excel defensively. He's caught 24 trying to steal this year, which is more than anybody in the American League, any catcher. He's thrown 24 runners out. But offensively, the average coming in today, 228.
Seems like he gets hot there for a minute, gets it up to 250, and then he struggles again. But it's really impressive, the fact that, and he said as much the other day, he says, I know I'm not hitting the way that I'd like to be hitting, but I'm proud of the fact that I'm not taking my at-bats back behind the plate, which is a good thing. You've got to be able to differentiate the offense from the defense, which is not as easy as it sounds.
Swing and a miss. Laird goes down on strikes. Baker strikes out his second of the game. Tigers strand man. We go to the 3rd inning.
Get your 15-game race for the pennant ticket package today or receive priority to select postseason games. Call 313-471-BALL or visit tigers.com for the race for the pennant package. And it's always nice to have the option of getting some postseason tickets.
What does that race for the pennant look like right now? The Tigers up 2 over Chicago, Minnesota, 4.5 out. As we kick the month of August into gear here, and of course the Tigers are headed to Boston after this series. They would love to finish this homestand out winning 5 out of the 7.
The Tigers just need to continue to win series, which they have a chance of doing today. They took 3 of 4 from Boston and have a chance of having a winning series here against Minnesota in their home ballpark.
It's Alexi Casilla leading it off, the number 9 hitter from Minnesota. Casilla, then Span, and then Orlando Cabrera. Alexei batting 167.
With his speed and hitting for both sides, that's unacceptable. He can bunt for a hit. He can hit the ball on the ground and run.
Tried to bunt his way on there and ended up skipping out of the box. They did not call that a strike.
Not a bad idea by Casilla. That cut fastball. It's got some nice run to it. And by Washburn.
Good pitch on the outer edge, 3-1.
He is painting the corners. He's not really missed with anything right down the heart of the plate in this game. He missed up with that pitch to Kadire, but that's about it.
Full count on Casilla, who, despite hitting in the 160s last night, had a single, a walk, and a sacrifice fly. He scored 2 runs. They got some really good production out of 8 and 9 last night en route to that 11-0 win. Right back off the pitcher. And there's going to be no play. Washburn tried to stop it and ended up slowing it down. Infield hit. Leadoff man is on. That'll bring up Denard Span.
I don't think Santiago he may have been able to get to this ball because it wasn't hit that hard off the bat of Casilla, but he would have had a tough time throwing Casilla out. And from that shortstop position, he has speed.
Span showing bunt, drops one down to Brandon. He's going to have to barehand it, and Cabrera keeps his foot on the bag, move the runner up.
That is the 8th sacrifice bunt this year by Span. And he does it perfectly. What can't he do?
Twins now have 33 sacrifices as a team. Seattle has been the best at it with 45. Here's Orlando Cabrera. Well, Cabrera picked up for the stretch run here by Minnesota. It wasn't long ago, back in 04, that the Boston Red Sox picked up Cabrera. And he joined them for the stretch run. That season ended up pretty good for Boston. The 0-1 is hit right on a line at first base. Right at Cabrera, 2 gone. One Cabrera to another. Now, Joe Mauer.
Well, somehow, some way, Washburn's going to have to try to get Mauer out in front of something so he can roll over the second baseman. When the Tigers have had success against Mauer, and they have not had a lot, they kind of get him out in front and they get him to roll over something to the right side of the infield. When he's hitting the ball the other way, he's lethal. He's dangerous.
7 hits in the series for Mauer.
Take a look at the huge hole he has in his direction. I mean, this is where he kind of makes his money. But they're giving him that hole.
Two balls and no strikes.
And for those of you at home that may not understand this defensive alignment, obviously the Tigers have logged a lot of ground balls that have been hit by Mauer since he's been in the big leagues and since he's played against them. And basically the scout chart is telling them this is what he does on the ground most of the time.
He's such a good hitter that he basically can put the ball where he wants. There have been some guys in history that have been able to do that. Guys like Tony Gwynn, who literally could put the ball where he wanted to. 3-0 the count. And there's ball 4, so it's a walk for Mauer.
Well, basically what Washburn is telling us is that he feels more comfortable trying to get Morneau out here and then getting Maurer out. And this is what he did to him his first time up. Brilliant pitch sequence here. It's our bell tire pitch by pitch. First 3 fastballs inside. He got 1 strike out of the 3 pitches. And then he goes outside with fastballs. He misses, slow breaking ball, finishes them off with another fastball away. Tremendous pitch sequence there from Washburn.
Morneau struck out back in the first. He took it looking, as a matter of fact. I'm talking about how the guys in the middle of their lineup, the left-handed hitters, will rarely sit even against opponents' left-handed pitching. Morneau, earlier this year in the month of June, had a consecutive games played streak ended at 319 straight games.
He's a gamer. He's got that hockey mentality.
Swinging on 2-0, and he pops it up. Morneau is upset with himself. Inge to record the final out. So nothing doing for the Twins. They strand a couple. We go to the bottom of the third. Back here in the Motor City on a hot, steamy day at the ballpark. Another good crowd on hand here today. Many of them standing to watch this one. Twins and Tigers as we go to the bottom of the third. Umbrellas out today to protect them from the sunlight, not the rain. And the Tigers in the third have Santiago, Granderson, and Polanco.
It's been a while since Santiago has bunted for a base hit himself. It's always an option for Raymond.
.250 batting average for Santiago, playing it short in this series.
But you got to be careful because Baker elevates that fastball.
Lifted toward left, straight at Delman Young. 1 pitch, 1 out. Bring up Curtis Granderson. And a hot, muggy day like today, pitchers absolutely love 1 pitch outs. Tigers have managed only 1 hit so far, the single by Curtis back in the first.
As a trainer in a training staff, when you know it's going to be hot the following day and it's a day game, you have to pump lots of fluids into your players, and I'm sure Kevin Rand and Steve Carter started that process last night, making sure guys stay hydrated. You can't do it the day of. You got to start the night before.
Really, when you think about it this year, the Tigers have not had any really oppressive heat at home. Now, they've had a couple of road spots, St. Louis and Houston, where it's been really hot. Houston, though, was indoors, so that was no big deal. pulled in the air to right field. Cuddyer is back. 2 gone. Here's a reminder, this game today is available in crystal clear high definition on Fox Sports Detroit HD, sponsored by Comcast. 2 up, 2 down for Scott Baker. That'll bring up Placido Polanco. Baker has given up a hit, and he has hit a batter. Polanco takes strike 1 right at the knees. Had a 4-hit game on Friday night. 5 hits in the series for Polanco. And a diving stop at second by Casilla, who robs Placido.
That he did. That ought to be against the law.
Terrific play by Alexi Casilla to his feet. Out. Who was the last pitcher to go 4-0 against a team pitching for 2 different teams in the same division? Of course, Pavano did that for the Minnesota Twins last night, began the year with the Cleveland Indians. There's your question. Who was the last pitcher to do it?
You got to give it up to Carl Pavano. He has had 4 sensational starts against one team. That is hard to do.
And the one he had last night was impressive. With a new team, his first start with a new ball club, and it comes in a pennant race. It's awfully good. There's Michael Cuddyer leading it off in a 1-0 game. We're in the 4th inning. Jared Washburn back at the hill, gave up a double to Cuddyer back in the 2nd.
Washburn's got that slow breaking ball at about 69, 70 miles an hour. Look, get me over breaking ball for strike 1.
Cuddyer eventually scored the game's only run on a base hit to right by Redmond. Washburn out of Webster, Wisconsin, played his college ball at the D3 level, Wisconsin Oshkosh. And he was talking about when he came to the Tigers how really kind of incredible it is to go from D3 baseball to the big leagues. There's another ball hammered to center field. Granderson on the move. He's going to turn on this one. It's into the bushes and gone. Michael Cuddyer has hammered a couple of balls to center field off Washburn, both of them going a long, long way.
That is about the first time that I've been broadcasting games here at Comerica Park the last 7 years where a ball left the bat toward center field, and I knew it was gone as soon as he hit it. It is 420 out there. It is not easy to get to. But when that bad boy left his bat, I'm thinking to myself, Granderson's got no shot.
There's another drive into center. Grandy going back on this one to the track, to the wall, and that one went even farther off the camera well in center.
Ooh, that's a big fly.
Delvin Young with a bomb to dead center field.
Goodness gracious.
Back-to-back home runs for Minnesota here in the fourth, and both of them beyond impressive. Not too many guys hit him that far. I mean, to hit him into the shrubs is one thing.
Our camera crew out there, watch out.
3-0 ball game. Here's Mike Redmond.
Now this is the Delvin Young they traded for. You don't see Granderson run out of room very often in center field.
Home run number 18 for Kadire, just number 4 for Delvin Young. So his last 2 home runs this year have come against Tigers pitching. Heads up out there, guys. That's hit to the shortstop on one hop. Santiago backhands. First out of the inning. The Kadire home run went 428. The Young home run went 438. Here's Punto. Nickel for 1. Chopper to the shortstop. 2 gone now. Washburn riding the ship a little bit after the 2 long home runs. Now he'll face Alexi Casilla. Washburn in 2 previous starts against Minnesota had given up just 1 run in 14 innings this season. Good pitch right at the knees, 0-1.
Hitting really has not been the issue this year for Minnesota. It's been their pitching. And we don't say that very often. Their pitching is usually top notch and usually really good as far as the earned run average is concerned, but not this year.
There's Rick Anderson, who gets very little credit for what the Twins have done over the past decade, in the decade of the 2000s. And of course, the guy in the other dugout, Rick Knapp, was overseeing their pitching at the minor league level. Santiago with a nifty play to nip Casilla at the wire, and that's all for the Minnesota Twins. 2 long homers, though, Kadire and Young. pitching for two different teams in the same division. Of course, Pavano has done it. And the last one was the guy that is in the booth right next to us to our left, Bert Blyleven, was 4-0 against the Royals in '76 with the Twins and the Rangers. Bert Blyleven, what a career he had.
He should be in the Hall of Fame. One day he'll get there.
Think so?
I do.
Well, I hope so. Here's a high towering drive into left field, way back. This one has a chance to go. More than a chance. See you later. It's gone. Marcus has just hit number 100 in his career. And it gets the Tigers on the board. That thing flew a long way.
Well, Jim said he had his right-handed hitting lineup in there today against Baker because righties do a little bit better against him. But Marcus Thames hits his 4th career home run against Baker. It's a fastball right down the middle, and he just leaned on it. That boy's got some strength. I mean, strength.
Speaking of strength, here is Cabrera. He can hit him a long way, too.
They're flying today.
Well, you said it earlier, on hot, muggy days like today, balls tend to jump a little bit.
Get out.
It will. He was playing way back. Young was, and a single for Cabrera.
Yeah, but I didn't think I expected them to go back-to-back straight central go putt.
800 worth? Almost 900 feet worth? So Marcus Thames with his 12th home run.
He's country strong.
Tigers have just their 3rd hit, but they're on the board, and now they're going to bring up Guillen with the runner at first base.
Well, they got to score some runs for Washburn. Washburn was not getting a whole lot of run support when he was wearing that Seattle Mariners uniform this year. He should have a lot more than 8 wins, but he had very little margin for error every time he went out there. So it'd be nice for the Tigers to put up a few more runs for Jerry.
He can commiserate with Edwin Jackson. There's a drive into right and a base hit. Cabrera to second base. He'll stop there, and Carlos Guillen on base for the 2nd time in this game. Well, the bat's starting to heat up now for Detroit. That is their 4th hit of the game. That'll bring up Ordonez. By the way, we got a reading on the home run by Marcus. 435 feet.
No cheap ones today.
No. Rick Anderson wants to settle down. Mr. Baker. Ordonez 0 for 1. Tigers have the tying runs on here after falling behind 3-0. They're perking up a little bit offensively here.
Well, if you're Maglio, you got to sit on that fastball right here. And usually that's the pitch you get after a visit from the pitching coach. And if you get anything other than a fastball, simply take it. But sit on that piece of cheese right now.
Cabrera and Guillen, your base runners. Maglio lines it to right, base hit. Cabrera coming to third. He'll stop there. 3 straight singles following the home run by Thames, and the Tigers in business now.
He got that cheese, and he didn't miss it. We have not seen Maglio hit the ball to right field with this kind of authority very much lately. He's been much more pull happy. Yeah, but that's a pretty swing there by Maglio.
Six pitches in this inning so far for Baker, and 4 hits.
4 bullets.
Brandon Inge, the batter. Ball 1. hit. 1 ball and 1 strike on Inge.
Yeah, he'd like to have that one back.
Brandon has hit 4 out of the yard with the bases loaded in his career.
Good this year too. 5 for 10. Sacks full.
Good block at home plate by Redmond. Now it's 2-1. Tigers have the bases loaded here with nobody out. Down by 2. Swing and a miss. He chased one right at the bill of his cap.
It's 2-1. You know you're going to get that fastball, and you're just over aggressive, trying to do a little bit too much.
Full now at 3-2. And his collar is tightening now with no place to put Brandon Inge. And here comes the crowd. Another big crowd here at Comerica. Doing their part to try and get the offense started. Line drive. It is foul. Easily would have gotten 2 runs in. Brandon just a hair out in front of that one. Breeze blowing out toward left.
Nice grass.
Anything pulled down the line certainly has a chance. And again the 3-2. Driven in the air toward right center field. Moving back is Kadire. Cabrera will tag. This will score the run. Guillen going to third. He's in there safely. Sacrifice fly. And an RBI for Brandon Inge. 3-2. '62nd RBI for Brandon.
Productive out for Brandon. Not only does he get the RBI, but Guillen now standing on third base with 1 out. A golden opportunity to score him as well. Productive out.
Here's Gerald Laird. Strikeout victim back in the 2nd. 0-1. Deep enough fly ball here ties this game. Tigers fell behind 3-0, but they put 2 on the board here. The home run by Thames got it started. And 3 straight singles loaded the bases. It'll pop up in a shallow right. It's going to drop. Base hit. Run will score. Ordonez to third. It's a double. And an RBI for Gerald Laird, and we're tied at 3. 6 Tigers hits.
G-Money sure needed this one. And we're going to slow it to you in Exmo. It looked like a breaking ball that was away. He was fooled. He was out in front, but he kept the bat back long enough to find some grass in the outfield. And by the time Kadire got there, G-Money driving in a run.
Now a base hit puts the Tigers ahead. You've got Santiago up there with just 1 out. Runners at 2nd and 3rd.
They are conceding the run up the middle.
Strike 1 on Ramon, who couldn't hold up.
Ground ball to short. Ground ball to 2nd. And it gets another run. On the corners, he will not be that fortunate.
5 of the Tigers' 6 hits in this game have come in this inning. The 0-1 pitch. Santiago hit a line drive to left his first time up, 0 for 1. Bouncing ball to short. This will get the run in. Santiago picks up an RBI, and the Tigers have come back to take a 4-3 lead. 29th RBI for Ramon. It's a big one. Ordonez scores. Washburn getting the support he was hoping for.
Just play pepper with the shortstop. You know you've got the runner on third base. You know they're giving you the run. All you have to do is put the ball in play somewhere, and you get yourself an RBI. Nice job by Santiago. And Tigers have done a nice job manufacturing some runs in this inning.
The Tigers had that 6-run first inning on Friday night, the first game in the series. This is a 4-run fourth. Granderson 1 for 2, single and a steal in this one. And he popped him up. Left side of the infield, Punto and Cabrera, and Cabrera hauls it in to retire the side. Big inning though. Tigers send 8 men to the plate. They score 4 times and they have their first lead.
The next generation of fantasy football.
Well, the Tigers get the bats going here. They put up a 4 spot in the 4th inning, and they've taken their first lead of the afternoon. Jared Washburn will go back to the hill on a very warm day here in the Motor City. They said it was going to get into the 90s, and it officially has. It is 91 degrees right now here at the yard.
Washburn needs a shutdown inning here after your club has just gotten you 4. And you need to make sure you get them back in the dugout with the lead.
There's Denard Span leading it off, then Orlando Cabrera and Joe Mauer. Top 3 hitters in Ron Gardenhire's lineup. 1 strike on Denard Span, who is 0 for 1. Also has a sacrifice.
He has been hot in this series against Detroit. 9 hits in 12 at-bats.
Well, the heat index is 103 today, but the heat index is not nearly as hot as Span has been. He came in at 444 career against Detroit. In fact, he came in at 500 against the Tigers this year, and it was no small sampling. These two teams have played a lot. The 0-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
This is how and why having a left-hander in your rotation is big. I know these Twins left-handers are good hitters, but when you've got a good left-hander out there, and Washburn would fall into that category, you can kind of shut these guys down a little bit, or at least slow them down. I'm talking about Span, of course, and Mauer and Morneau. And Kubal's not playing, so you've already taken one of their big bats out of the lineup.
Swing and a miss. How about that? They get Span for the second time today.
Span now 1 for 12 in his career against Washburn. Well-located fastball that's away from him. Span, who gets set early but could not catch up with that one.
Washburn has his second strikeout. The other was a left-handed hitter as well, Justin Morneau. Here's Cabrera. The big trading deadline pickup for the Minnesota Twins this year. He pulls that one foul. Done a nice job of solidifying their number 2 spot in the lineup, which has certainly made them a little bit deeper offensively. Not to mention a couple of Gold Gloves in his back pocket. That helps. Good player. Another weapon for Ron Gardenhire. Rolled foul, 1-2. We're talking about how he joined the Red Sox for the stretch run in 04. In his first at bat with Boston, they were facing the Minnesota Twins, and Cabrera homered against Johan Santana. Made his presence felt very quickly. With the Twins, he homered in his second game after joining the team. Pulled through, base hit. His first hit today. Number 7 for Minnesota. And a couple of guys, Rob, that have really helped out their new teams.
Cliff Lee 2-0. Victor Martinez could slash from both sides. Matt Halliday, he really perked up when he went to St. Louis. They're not going to let him get out of town. At least I wouldn't. And you're talking about Cabrera, who now has an 18-game hitting streak, or is it 19?
19. It went to 19 with that hit. Joe Mauer 1 for 1 with a walk.
That last graphic is a perfect example of teams going out and filling a need. All those teams had a need for those players they got. Philly needed another starter. St. Louis Cardinals needed another bat to help Pujols out. They needed a shortstop here in Minnesota and some more offense. And Cleveland really did not want to give up Victor Martinez. They were just overwhelmed in the deal that they got. They did not want to give up Victor.
Well, I think if the Red Sox had their druthers, they would have preferred to pick up a pitcher. Of course, Roy Halladay was the big name, but Martinez, an outstanding pickup for their offense.
I mean, switch hitting catchers with power that have the potential of winning batting titles, those guys don't fall off trees.
Twins have at least one hit in every inning so far in this game. They have the tying run at first with 1 out. Two and 2.
He has had that real good cut fastball today against the left-handed hitters. And he is threading the needle on the outside corner. I mean, Laird doesn't move that mitt. It is right in the glove.
Mauer will hit into some double plays. He's bounced into 7 this year. If he rolls over on one and pulls it to second base, it's going to be a little bit of an odd turn because Santiago is playing just about directly behind the bag from his shortstop position. They give up the entire third base line to Mauer. I mean, this is the type of shift you see against Jim Thome, with the exception of Polanco. Against Thome would be playing in the outfield, deep onto the grass. Tigers a 4-run 4th inning to grab the lead 4-3 for Jared Washburn. Trying to get his first Tigers win. Missed it outside. Now it fills at 3-2.
You may see Jared Washburn throw over first once, just in case Cabrera is on the move on this 3-2 pitch. He may try to get too big a lead and too big a jump, and then you can pick him off.
That is fouled at home plate.
This is why some managers in this situation with a left-hander up, they will not even try to steal here, because if Mauer strikes out, or even if he hits a ground ball with this kind of jump that Cabrera had, they could still turn two. Look at the jump here. The ball's already on its way. So even if he hits the ball on the ground, they could still get the force out at second and complete the double play, because it just wasn't a good jump. You can't afford to get picked off in this situation.
Bouncing ball hit to the shortstop. Santiago. Mauer is out. So Cabrera moves to second base with 2 gone. That'll bring up Justin Morneau. There's an 8-pitch at bat there against Washburn. Morneau is 0 for 2.
Morneau had himself in a really nice hitter's count the last time he was up. 2 balls, no strikes, and he popped up to third.
Morneau hits this one in the air again. This time it's going to be to center field. And that is that for Minnesota. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. Play. Get 2 upper box tickets for just $29 or 2 lower box seats for just $49. That's a savings of $15. Call 866-66-TIGER or check it out online at tigers.com. And take part in the August double play. Tigers batting in the bottom of the 5th inning, facing Scott Baker. It'll be Polanco to lead it off. Polanco, Thames, and Cabrera. Wave and miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Polanco had a hit taken away back in the 3rd on a terrific Diving play by Alexi Casilla over at second base. Shot foul back out of play. 1-2 on Polanco. 2, 3, and 4 in Jim Leland's lineup. A little bit of an uprising in the fourth inning for Detroit. They scored 4 times off Baker, grabbing the lead for Washburn. Back up the middle and through. Base hit. Big series for Polanco continues. That's his 6th hit.
Polanco is just a wonderful story, really. And when he left Dominican Republic after high school, he had to walk on to his junior college team, Miami-Dade Junior College in Miami. Did not have a scholarship. He walked on. He lived with the Mota family. Manny Mota kind of served as a father figure to Polanco. And here he is today in the big leagues. It's a nice story.
You might not find a nicer family in baseball than the Mota family. They are terrific people.
He took Polanco under his wing at a very young age. Kind of taught him how to be a man. Of course, the Motas, it's a fine family.
10-game hitting streak now for Polanco with that single. Marcus homered in his last at bat. That got the Tigers rolling. It was his 100th career home run.
Marcus is another great story. I don't even think he played varsity baseball until he was a junior in high school. Couldn't make his varsity team until a junior. They get here all kinds of ways.
There's no blueprint, is there?
There is no blueprint. You've got to have God-given talent, obviously. But when you're dealt some obstacles and some setbacks, you got to keep on moving. These two guys are a perfect example of that. Refuse to quit.
Baker's 1-2. Got him. Strike 3. Marcus caught looking. 3 strikeouts for Baker. 1 out in the 5th.
Good breaking ball. Really good breaking ball. Froze Marcus.
Here's Cabrera. Miguel today is 1 for 2, single and a run scored. Driven in the air, deep into left. This one has enough, and it's gone. A home run. A line drive home run for Miguel Cabrera. And how big is that one? 6-3 Detroit. He unloaded on that one.
He's a smart hitter. He's a talented hitter, but he's also very smart. He loves to swing at the first pitch, but he also knows on occasion he's going to get an off-speed pitch. That's the only way you have that kind of balance and setup on an off-speed pitch on the first pitch is if you're looking for it. He crushed that bad boy.
On a day in which the Tigers fall behind 3-0, they've now taken a 6-3 lead.
I remember one offseason. It was the offseason when the Tigers acquired Cabrera. I was talking to Aaron Boone, and we work out at the same facility in Arizona. And he was talking and raving about how good a hitter Cabrera was.
That's pulled towards second base, this time off the glove of Casilla into right field.
Of course, Boone spent 1 year playing with the Florida Marlins when Cabrera was there, and he said, you guys are going to be impressed just how smart he is. He's very talented, but he's very smart as well when in that batter's box.
Tigers now have 9 hits. They put up 4 runs in the 4th and now 2 more here in the 5th on the home run by Miguel Cabrera. And Baker's starting to get roughed up now.
He'll give up some hits. He doesn't walk many. And when you get to him, you've got to get to him by hitting him around the ballpark because he's not going to have a lot of base on balls.
Ron Gardenhire has made the signal to the bullpen where Bobby Keppel will now be called into this game. And that's going to be it for the starter. Wellside Windows pitching change. Baker is gone. Keppel is in.
For Keppel comes in, no wins, 1 loss, a few holds, an earned run average north of 5, 15 walks in 24 and a third inning. So that's probably been his Achilles heel.
Maglio takes outside. A single and a run scored for Ordonez today. Keppel's been with a couple of different organizations. In fact, he was originally drafted by the New York Mets, but got to the big leagues with Kansas City first. It was back in 06. Then Colorado in 07, and now the Twins here in 09. .2000, the year that the Mets drafted him. Leadoff single by Polanco with 1 out. Cabrera hit the 2-run shot. And then a single by Guillen chased the starter Scott Baker. Driven to center field on a line, base hit. Guillen moves up to second base. Maglio has his second hit today.
Maglio has finally found some comfort in that batter's box, which is allowing him to generate some bat speed. And by him opening up with that front foot, the hips are slightly open. And that bat's been getting through the strike zone a lot quicker in the last week or so.
Ten Tigers hits. Brandon Inge had a big sacrifice fly back in that 4-run 4th inning. Strike 1. Guillen and Ordonez occupying the bases with 1 out. Fly ball, shallow left center field. Delman Young hauls it in. His bat as well. At least it sounded like it. 2 outs. Leave it up to Gerald Laird. Well, the Tigers are on their way to Boston. It's an off day tomorrow for Minnesota. They'll be hosting Kansas City. A 3-game series starting on Tuesday. Going back home for a homestand. There's a high pop-up, shallow right field. Casilla going back to the grass, drifting, and the side retired. But the Tigers make it a big inning with 2 more. We go to the 6th, up 6-3. The ballpark on a hot, steamy day, and it looks like the offense is starting to heat up a little as well, Rod. It's good to see because the Tigers fell behind 3-0. Washburn needed a little bit of help today.
Well, they knew that Baker was going to be around the dish because he's always around the plate. He doesn't walk many people. But when Baker made a mistake in the strike zone, the offensive players made him pay for it.
It's starting to look like now that Cabrera as well is starting to heat up as we get into the month of August, and that's a good thing because he, without question, is their big anchor in the middle of the lineup.
He's one of the best hitters in the game. When you start talking about right-handed bats, you want to talk about guys like Albert Pujols, you talk about Manny Ramirez, and shortly after that, you're talking about a guy like Miguel Cabrera. And that's how good he is. And he was one of the best hitters in the American League the second half of the year last year. So apparently he perks up second half of the year.
Lee Thomas is your new left fielder. Marcus Thames out of the game.
I have been impressed with Jared Washburn in this ball game today. I know Kadires touched him up for a double and a home run, but he's really been able to shut the left-handed bats down, which is what you have to do when you're going up against Minnesota. Span 0 for 2, Morneau 0 for 2, and Mauer has 1 single.
Kadire, Young, and Redmond. It's been that trio that's done all the damage today for the Minnesota Twins. Easy play for Santiago. They get Kadire for the first time. He had a double and a homer coming into that at bat.
And Washburn has really had to reinvent himself the last couple of years. He used to be a guy that threw 85–90% fastballs when he was pitching for the Angels in his first couple of years in Seattle. But now he's got a really good two-seam fastball and a sinker that he likes to go along with the cutter and the slow curve and the changeup. And he's a really good pitcher now.
Fly ball in the air to left off the bat of Delman Young. Lee Thomas coming on. 2 quick outs.
Baseball most definitely is a game of adjustments. We were just talking about Maglio last half inning and the fact that once you get in your 30s and things aren't working the way they did when you were younger, you got to find ways of getting it done. Got to change.
2 outs. Mike Redmond is 1 for 2 in this game, an RBI single, and was back in the second inning. All this guy does is just hit. He is a career .292 hitter in the big leagues. And he lifts this one into shallow center field. Polanco can't get there. It'll drop in, his second hit of the game.
And a lot of his hits look just like that. What did it look like? A line drive in the box score tomorrow.
He's 2 for 3.
One of my all-time favorite guys in the game, Mike Redmond. Had a chance to coach him when he was real young, back in A-ball. He hadn't changed a bit.
Look at the bat.
Has not changed a bit.
2 pieces. There's a strike called on Nick Punto. Punto is 0 for 2, couple of ground balls. Washburn at 86 total pitches right now. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sliced and into right field, base hit. Redmond goes to second, and the Twins now putting some together here with 2 outs. Punto gets his first hit today. 9th overall for Minnesota. That's going to bring up number 9 man Alexi Casilla. It's going to bring Jim Leland out as well. Slowly making his way out to the mound.
Take Washburn's temperature.
Nobody warming up in the Tigers bullpen, so this is not a pitching change here. Washburn will have a little chat with his new skipper. And on a warm, muggy, humid afternoon, Jim taking his time getting out and getting back, maybe giving Washburn a chance to catch his breath a little bit. He's thrown 89 pitches. Regroup and take on Casilla here. In the meantime, now the bullpen will start to work.
He'd like to get this inning and 1 more inning out of Washburn today.
Ground ball, fair ball off the glove of Brandon Inge. Redmond coming around third. He's going to score. They might try and get 2 in, and they will. The ball gets by Thomas. Casilla all the way to third, and he is safe. Oh, does that hurt? Thomas unable to come up with it in the corner, and they score 2 runs to make it 6-5. A 2-out rally here for the Twins. It started innocently with the Redmond broken bat hit.
And bottom half of their order as well. And Thomas probably a little bit too aggressive in going over to this ball down the line, and it just gets past him. And once it gets past him, that allows Casilla to get to third base.
Ten hits now for the Twins, so both sides with 10 hits. Tying runs standing at third base. Twins aren't going away. They have ruled that a triple. Casilla with 2 RBIs, and now the top of the order, Denard Span. It really stings when you get a 2-out rally started with a broken bat hit, especially at the bottom of the lineup. Punto followed with a base hit, and then Casilla triples in a pair. 2 balls, no strikes on Denard Span. Now it's 3-0 on Span. Washburn may be looking at his last hitter here, with Cabrera waiting on deck. 3-1. Swing and a miss. Now Washburn back in the count. It's full, 3-2. Span today is 0 for 2 with a sacrifice. He missed some time earlier this year on the DL with an inner ear infection. He had been complaining of dizziness. They had to put him on the disabled list. Trying to knock in the tying run here in the 6th inning. That tying run would be Alexi Casilla. Got him, strike 3 in the outside corner. Casilla is stranded. Washburn gets his 3rd strikeout, but the Twins get a couple of 2-out runs.
Comes up behind him. He does the exact same thing. Coors Light Freeze Can brought to you by your Frost Brewed Coors Light. I think I've ever seen back-to-back home runs straightaway center field here at Comerica Park.
He rattled the camera cage out there in center. So it's a 1-run game, and the Tigers hit here in the 6th inning with Ramon Santiago leading it off. Then Granderson and then Polanco. The 1-0 pitch from Keppel is down low. 2 balls and no strikes. Santiago had a ground ball which produced an RBI back in the 4th. Tigers trailed 3-0, but they scored 4 in the 4th. The 2-0 pitch. Granderson, then Polanco to follow. Each team with 10 hits today. Go foul again, right to Andy Van Slyke. Gobbles it up barehanded. Searches out a paying customer. Cool shirt. The 2-2. Tigers after this one will gear up for that 4-game set at Fenway Park, their only visit to Boston this year. That'll be a meat grinder every time the Tigers go into Boston. In that ballpark, everything just seems so compressed and condensed. The fans are on you. They usually sell out every night. Although their team has been struggling, the Red Sox.
It's a great atmosphere.
It's one of the best. 3-2. It's on the ground back up the middle. Casilla with a jump throw. Safe. Played that about as well as he could, and Santiago has an infield single. Now back up to the top of the order, Curtis Granderson.
It's like a do-or-die play for Casilla. And Santiago smelling that knock.
Santiago signaled safe, and then so did Brian Knight. Granderson is 1 for 3. Chicago still leading Cleveland there in the 4th inning, 3-0.
There's some rumors circulating out there that the White Sox want Alex Rios.
Ground ball hit to second base. Casilla fires to second one. Relay not going to be nearly in time. There was a rumor, I guess, that the White Sox plucked him off the waiver wire. And if that's the case, that's a whole lot of salary they'll be taking on.
Well, he's earned that. He has been. I don't know what his numbers are this year, but the reason why he got that contract is he's one of the best outfielders in the game.
His numbers, though, have been a little bit down this year. And I think he's got 5 more years left on that deal.
Yeah.
So that's a big commitment and a lot of money.
Yeah.
Here's Polanco. I think Randy's running again here. He already has 1 stolen base.
I don't know that much about Keppel. I know Redmond's got a nice exchange and a nice release down to second, but I don't know the times of Keppel as of yet. Looks like he's a guy he can run on.
Polanco had a single to start that 5th inning. Tigers got a couple in that 5th on the home run by Miguel Cabrera. A line drive home run by Cabrera, which right now is the difference in this game. Pitch out. They thought something might be brewing, but not so. One ball, 1 strike. See if Granderson is going after the pitch out here. He's going to draw a throw. I don't know what the percentages are for managers pitching out on back-to-back pitches, but it's got to be extremely low.
Only when you have guys that you trust to throw strikes.
Two and one.
Keppel pretty quick to the plate. I timed him. He's 1-1.
Seriously, did you really time him?
I really timed him.
Nice.
He's 1-1, which is tough to run on.
Yeah.
And he's got a pretty decent move. Feet are pretty quick for a big guy. Anything 1-3 and above, 1.3 seconds and above, and that's the time that it takes the pitcher once he starts his motion to get the ball to the catcher's glove. Anything above 1-3, you can run on that, regardless of who the catcher is.
That's a bullet hit to short. Cabrera can't quite handle it.
That is a shame.
That looked like it was going to be a double play.
Hit a ball that hard and might not get a hit out of it.
It's got to be a base hit out of it.
You think?
It is. That thing was scalding. Second hit for Polanco.
Now, I mean, I'm playing devil's advocate here. I mean, why is that a hit? Because he has the ball in his glove. He just couldn't get it out of his to throw it to second base.
Fair point.
He's out by 5 feet.
Fair point.
I mean, I'm not hating on Polanco, but I mean, that could have gone as an error.
No, had he juggled that ball, I see what you're saying. That would have been a different thing. But he had the ball in his glove.
He gloved it cleanly
and missed on the exchange. So, I mean, that's a legitimate argument. I'm just looking at it from Polanco's end. You hit a ball that hard, like you said, you got to give him the hit.
Oh, absolutely. I like Polanco's game.
12 Tigers hits, and Clete Thomas getting his first at bat. .22 hits in this game. Tigers have 12 of those, 10 for Minnesota. Tigers trying to rebuild that lead. They're up by 1, 6-5.
Clete doing a pretty nice job this year with runners in scoring position. And batting average over 300, 317 to be exact.
Two and two. Fill it up now, 3-2 with 1 out. Runners at first and second.
Be risky to send him.
Very dangerous.
Especially with Cabrera in the on-deck circle.
They're not going anywhere. Hit high in the air toward left field.
Ball's flying today.
2 outs.
That was a pop-up that got to the warning track.
So Cabrera will get his shot. Came through in his last at bat.
First pitch, off-speed pitch in the 5th. From Baker, breaking ball, crushed it. It got out of here in a hurry.
Number 23 for Miguel Cabrera. Team lead in homers and RBIs. And he sends a ground ball left side, fielded there by Punto. And that's going to take care of the Tigers here in the 6th inning. They threaten, do not score, leave a couple of hits on base, and we go to the 7th. Seventh inning, Tigers leading it by 1 over Minnesota. Final game in this series. The two teams have gone back and forth in this one. 12 hits for the Tigers, 10 for the Minnesota Twins. Bobby C is the new pitcher, and he's facing Orlando Cabrera.
He has pitched a lot since putting on a Tigers uniform. 48th time now that he's been out there for Jim Leadon. Good numbers for Bobby.
Bobby, as you might expect, is very effective against left-handed batters, but even against right-handers. Right-handers are batting .217 against C. You've got a righty, lefty, lefty in this inning. Inside as Cabrera spins the bat out of his hand. 2-1 on Orlando Cabrera.
Stood him up.
Swing and a miss.
Bobby C throwing hard to death. 93 on that last fastball to Cabrera. And up in the zone. Cabrera can handle that high fastball though. He is one right-handed hitter that can climb the ladder and get on top of a high fastball.
He ran his career high hitting streak up to 19 straight with a base hit back in the 5th.
Cabrera is one of those free agents last offseason that kind of got froze out and didn't really kind of get the deal that he should have got after the year he had last year in Chicago. Bad economy. A lot of guys were in the same boat as Cabrera. A few guys got their contracts, but there were several guys that didn't sign until January, some February, and a lot of the guys got one-year contracts.
Running full, 3-2. Cabrera picked up the 400th double of his career early this month against Cleveland back on the 4th. Got Lauer lurking on deck, and then it'll be Morneau. This will be the 9th pitch in this at bat. Here it is. It's fouled straight back. Washburn giving way here. C facing the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Again the 3-2, and he got him to pop it up finally. Santiago at short.
Let's take a look at the body of work this afternoon of Jared Washburn, who pitched 6 innings in this game and gave up 5 runs, but there were some bright spots. He kept the ball down. He kept the ball off the plate on most occasions, but when he did get too much plate, they were able to touch him up for those 5 runs. But I would say that it was an encouraging outing for Jared based on what he did the first time he took the ball here at Comerica Park. And he's only going to get better. The numbers don't lie. He's had way too good a year. And Bobby struggles with Mauer. Mauer 5 for 13 in his career. 14, excuse me, against Bobby C.
Single and a walk today for Joe. He sits safely in 7 straight. Now it's 0-2. great example of how closers seem to get all of the attention, good or bad, but it's the guys that pitch the 7th and 8th that are just as critical, especially in a one-run game. And Bobby C has to navigate through hitters like Cabrera, Mauer, and Morneau. And he's been very good this year. And a bouncing ball to second base. 2 up, 2 down. Now Morneau. Good numbers as well against Bobby C. 6 for 13. Hitless day so far for Morneau. 0 for 3. Strike 1. Tigers this afternoon with 12 hits. They've had multiple hit games from Cabrera, Guillen, Ordonez, and Polanco. They're falling behind 3-0. They have taken the lead in this game. Little pop-up, going to be trouble, and it's going to drop. Fair ball. Morneau rounding the bag. He's going to try for 2. Thomas will gun to second base. Not in time. And the tying run gets to second with 2 outs. Well, this is how it started in the last inning. A broken bat hit by Redmond. That was a little blooper off the bat of Morneau. And it means Jim Leland's coming out.
Good hustle here by Morneau. And he knows that Thomas in left field is playing him very deep because that's where most left fielders play him. So as soon as this ball hits the grass, he's off and running, and he knows that he has a chance to get to which he got.
So that's going to be it for Bobby C. Ryan Perry will come trotting in from the Tigers bullpen. Will step aside for this pitching change.
Shirts, and you can get a whole lot more and get your gear straight from the Tigers.com shop.
So the Tigers have gone right back to the bullpen. They'll bring a right-hander out. It's Ryan Perry to try and get Michael Kadire.
If he has any confidence whatsoever in his slider, he may want to throw it on the first pitch here. And no doubt, Kadire knows how hard Perry throws and will be looking for that first pitch fastball.
6-5 Tigers lead. We're in the 7th.
He threw it, but he didn't get it down. Throw it again.
Has a double and a home run. He has scored a couple of runs. Here's the 1-0. Morneau is the tying run at second base. Little bloop double down the left field line. 11 hits for Minnesota.
Right back up the middle, and it's through into center field. Granderson charging it. Here comes Morneau. He's going to score. And another 2-out run for Minnesota. They tied it up. It is 6-6. They got a couple of 2-out runs in the 6th inning, and now another one here in the 7th.
And not too bad a pitch there by Perry. It's a breaking ball that looked like it was off the plate outside. It shattered his bat, but he was still able to get enough of it to hit it up the middle, right off the end of the bat.
Here's Delman Young. Each team now with 6 runs on 12 hits. Young had a solo homer back in the 4th. That run will be charged to Bobby C., who started the inning. Washburn gets a no decision today in his 2nd Tiger start. Young was the top overall prospect in the 2003 draft. In fact, he was also rated as the best power hitter as well in that draft. And when he got to pro ball his very first year in A-ball, he hit 25 home runs and made good on that promise. Not quite as many, though, at the big league level. Runner bluffing. Snap throw back behind the runner. Look out. Cabrera falls on Kadire, who put on the brakes. He took 3 or 4 steps towards second base and then shut it down.
Had he just kept going, he would have been able to steal the base standing up. He had a great jump, but he scared himself. Therefore, he stopped, and he was caught in no man's land. Look at the jump. If he just continues to go, he steals the base. Laird came up firing in a hard slide back into first. Took Cabrera out.
Here's how good the Twins offense has been in this series. We played 25 innings in this series, and the Twins have had at least 1 hit in 21 of the 25 innings. And so these days, Ron Gardenhire happy with the way the offense is producing. Hoping the pitching can catch up down the stretch. Young waiting patiently. Now Perry ready. Swing and a miss to end the inning. Not before they tie it up. RBI single by Michael Kadire makes it a 6-6 game.
are in Boston to start a 4-game series against the Red Sox. Coverage begins at 6:30 with Tigers Live. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire tomorrow evening on Fox Sports Detroit and Fox Sports Detroit HD. And there is your pitching matchup for Game 1. Edwin Jackson and Brad Penny will hook up in that game. And by the way, don't forget, Monday night's game against the Red Sox will be a first for the Tigers and Fox Sports Detroit. Throughout the telecast, we'll be offering several fan experiences like throwing out the first pitch, fantasy batting practice on the field at Comerica Park. You can spend 3 innings up in the booth here. So stay tuned Monday night for a classic matchup between the Tigers and Bo Sox, and a great opportunity to enjoy a very special fan experience. Compliments of the Tigers and Fox Sports Detroit. Well, it's been a great fan experience here this afternoon at Comerica Park. 35,423 the attendance on a warm afternoon, and it's been a back and forth game.
Fans trying to stay cool today.
Tough thing to do. The temperature in the 90s here this afternoon. And for Detroit, in the bottom of the 7th, it'll be Carlos Guillen leading it off. Carlos has had hits in each of his last 2 at-bats. He's also been hit by a pitch. Average starting to climb now. It's up to 240.
Redmond likes to start Carlos Guillen off with breaking balls. And because he knows that Guillen loves to hit that first pitch fastball.
Ordonez and then Brandon Inge to follow.
Breaking ball again.
Keppel is out there. He came on in the 5th inning, pitched the 6th, and now here in the 7th.
Call that a strike?
I heard it. Another base hit for Carlos. That's a 3-for-3 day. A solid single to center. 13 Tigers hits.
Well, Doug Eddings called the first breaking ball a strike. That was at the top of the strike zone. So Carlos said, well, I better swing at this next one. And he did. And he got himself a solid single. Sometimes umpires will force you into swinging at certain pitches you don't normally like to swing at.
Ordonez has 2 hits in each of his last 2 at-bats. He's also scored.
I would suspect that Jim's going to do something with Guillen, put him on the move some kind of way. He knows that Maglio is prone to hit the ball on the ground in these situations, and they do not need a double play here. And that's why they're paying special attention to Carlos. I already told you too, Keppel, they're pretty quick at getting the ball to Redmond. Takes very little time once that ball leaves his hand. Which means the only way that Guillen can get down to second and base is probably a bouncing ball, or they put him in motion on a hit and run.
Looked like he went that time. No, he did not. Ryan Knight said he held up. So now the count has gone into his favor, 2-0. He yelled. Good call. Two balls, 1 strike. Ordonez has hit safely in 11 of his last 13 games. Leland has seen his team fall behind, race ahead. The Twins have come back to tie this one up. Line drive caught. Quick throw is in time. The double play. Guillen doubled up on the line drive by Ordonez.
When you're on first base, when that ball's hit, you got to be getting back. Alexi Casilla fired a seed over to Morneau. Morneau stretched out in his direction, which allows them to double Carlos off. But when the ball's hit directly in the line, you got to try to get back.
Inge with 2 outs. Brandon had a sac fly to drive one in back in the 4th. One ball and 1 strike. Jesse Crane warming up in their bullpen. Keppel got the final 2 outs of the 5th. He's still on here in the 7th. Down the middle of strike 1 and 2. 96 on the gun. It's the hard throwing Jesse Crane. Two and 2. Fouled straight back. Doug Eddings, the home plate umpire, has a pretty good arm. You ever notice how he gets the ball to the pitcher?
No, I haven't paid much attention.
He fires that thing. On a hot day, it's been a long day for the home plate umpire. Up and down in the heat. That's low again. Run it to 3 and 2.
All that gear he's got on, you know, he's hotter than anybody on the field.
No doubt. Full count on Brandon. 2 outs. Base is empty in the 7th. Rolled foul. Looks like Cleveland has come back to take a lead on Chicago. 4-3. That's good news. Here it is 6-6. That White Sox score there in the bottom of the 5th. He got him. Strike 3 in the outside corner. Inge caught looking. That's all for the Tigers here in the 7th. We'll go to the 8th. Still tied at 6. Here in the 8th inning, Michael Kadire and Delman Young back-to-back home runs in the 4th inning for Minnesota. For the Tigers, Marcus Thames hit his 100th career home run, and Miguel Cabrera has gone deep as well with a 2-run shot. He's moving in on 200 career homers. Got a new pitcher now for the Tigers. It'll be right-hander Brandon Lyon.
Brandon Lyon has just been dealing. And last 29 outings, he has a 1.45 earned run average. Cut fastball, slow curveball, occasional changeup, nothing but strikes. Opponent's batting average 205 against Brandon Lyons.
Check swing by Redmond. He went around. Mike Redmond had a huge hit back in the 6th inning, a 2-out single that started a 2-run rally with 2 outs. Fouled straight back 0-2.
And Lyon was a closer for parts of the season last year for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Had 26 saves. So he is used to pitching in tight ball games, late in games.
Well, he can't get tighter than 6-6 in the 8th. Shallow pop. Looks like it's going to drop again.
Redmond, stop it.
What are you saying in his last at bat?
That's how he gets all his hits.
It seems like it, doesn't it? He actually served another one out there.
Red Dog.
That's his 3rd hit. So the go-ahead run is on. That'll bring up Nick Punto. We'll see how they want to play it here. Gomez is pinch running down at first base.
Well, you know, Gomez has tremendous speed. So it just depends on whether he wants to let him steal or whether he wants Punto to bunt.
Bunt. Popped up, foul. Nick Punto 1 for 3. Scott Olger down in their box at third base. Inge tied at third on the grass. And again he shows bunt. Missed it. He offered at it too. And now it's 0-2, so that really changes the complexion of this at bat quite a bit. Question is, does Ron Gardenhire have the confidence that he can drop one down here with 2 strikes?
I do know the first pitch, it was a sacrifice bunt. This next one looked like Punto was trying to bunt for a base hit, and he took off too soon.
Swinging away, and he lofts it in the air to shallow right field. It's going to be caught by Maglio. Ordonez came running in, got there quickly. That's a big out. Instead of bunting the runner up, the inability to do that leaves Gomez at first base. And it looks like the left-handed stick of Jason Kubel now will pinch hit for Casilla. And the always dangerous Jason Kubel. Kubel has a pinch hit home run against the Tigers this year. Lions stays away 1-0. 13 hits for both teams today. Most of the Tigers hits have come after the 3rd inning. Kubel batting a solid .305. He's having a really good year offensively. 1-1. Lyon replacing Ryan, who replaced C. The starter went 6 innings today. Jared Washburn. You look at a no decision. 2 balls, 1 strike on the pinch hitting Jason Kubel. And the 2-1. Shattered his bat, rolled it towards second. Santiago, or Blanco, I should say, with 1 play. Runner advances now and move Gomez into scoring position with 2 outs. Bring up Denard Span. So here's a big spot in this game against a guy that, although he does not have a hit today, has been red hot in the series. Span with 9 hits in the series. 0 for 3 today with a sacrifice. And he's not going to hit. First base open. And the right-handed batting Cabrera on deck. They're going to put Span on.
It's the right move by Jim.
There's ball 3 missing outside, so 1 more and Span will head to first base. So the Twins now have a couple of guys on that can really run, and here is Cabrera to try and cash him in. He's had 1 hit today, extending his hitting streak to a career high 19, 1 for 4 overall.
That is the first intentional base on balls this year for Span, and it might be the first of his career.
Wouldn't surprise me if it is.
That's why I said it.
Here's a strike. So Lyon has gotten ahead now. No balls, 2 strikes. Twins tied it up with a run in the 7th. Tigers at one point had a 3-run lead. 2 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th for Minnesota. Go foul.
And Jim was motioning to his infielders before that last pitch to Cabrera. If Gomez and Span take off, he wants his infielders to stay put. He's not going to worry about them stealing these bases if they want to steal. But he does not want his infielders moving and get themselves out of position on a ground ball.
Ground ball back up the middle. Santiago ranging left. Has 1 play, and that's the first for the out. They threaten, do not score. You're watching Tigers baseball today on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. Hey, Harlow was here earlier today, as a matter of fact, sporting his Detroit Stars cap. Already looking as good as ever. Always nice to see the Hall of Famer back at the ballpark.
About time for G Money to bunt for a hit. When you start struggling with that bat, and he's a guy that knows how to bunt for a hit down that third baseline, you may as well take him. And Punto playing in back of that bag. Is that still Punto at third?
Brendan Harris is the new third baseman. That is a fair ball down the line. It's going to be a double for Gerald Laird. A two-base hit to start things off here in the eighth.
Instead of bunting down in that direction, he whistled one right past Harris. Harris couldn't move before that ball got past him.
Well, that's a big two-base hit to start things off. We'll see what the Tigers want to do here now as Santiago will step in. Fair ball down that third baseline. Second double of the day for Gerald. He also has an RBI. Santiago had an infield hit his last time up. They are thinking bunt. He is showing bunt, and he pops it up.
He's got a job to do, that's for sure. So however he gets it done, he needs to get it done.
Joe Mauer is catching from DH, the catching spot.
And if they believe he's bunting again, then he'll get another fastball at the top of the strike zone from Guerrero.
And it's bunted toward first base. Morneau thought about it. Sacrifice works. Matt Guerrero is the new pitcher for the Minnesota Twins. He'll bat in the 9 spot as the Twins give up the DH.
He's been lights out. Look at those numbers. 5-0 with an earned run average under 2. And he's been in 54 games already. 36 strikeouts, 8 walks. Wow.
Randy's going to be walked intentionally. This will leave runners at first and third.
And Gardenhire feels like it's the best chance for his team of getting out of this jam without giving up a run. And we just showed you Guerrero's numbers. They're lights out.
Here's ball 4, so Granderson, the intentional walk. With runners at first and third, and a chance for Polanco to break the tie.
And by walking Granderson, and that allows him to relax his defense, at least up the middle. And so that you don't have to play your infield in as you would have had to do against Granderson. When you play your infield in against a guy like Granderson, more often than not, they're going to hit the ball through the infield somewhere.
Rick Anderson is out to talk about this situation with the entire infield as they convene on the mound. 6-6 game. It's been a back and forth battle all day long. 27 hits between the two teams in this contest. And it's going to be Polanco now with runners at first and third. Couple of singles and a run scored. Polanco now is being called down the third base line by Gene Lamont. Go ahead run at third base. 1 out. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Ball 1. Polanco this year, 316 with men in scoring position. Good pitch, outer edge, 1-1 on Polanco. Laird started things off with a double. He was sacrificed to third by Santiago. Granderson walked intentionally. Little looper right field. This ball will drop fair. Laird scores. Granderson coming to third. Polanco comes through again. Third hit in this game for Placido.
You cannot fault Ron Gardenhire for walking Granderson to put runners on first and third with Polanco standing in the batter's box. That's their best chance of trying to get out of this situation. But you knew Polanco was not going to strike out. And he puts the ball in play, as he always does, and gets rewarded with an RBI and a single. And the Tigers now have another runner on third base, which they need to cash in as well.
Lee Thomas can drive this run in with a deep enough fly ball. And he grounds one to the right side. It's a diving stop there by Punto. Throws to first, but the run will score.
Nice job.
Thomas gets it done. Tigers have a 2-run lead, 8-6. Cleat will get some high fives.
Tigers have done a pretty nice job of that today. They're manufacturing some runs, tagging up on balls and getting to the extra base. And Santiago with a sacrifice. Cleat finding the right spot to hit that ball to stay out of a double play. They played a really nice game offensively.
Here's Cabrera with a runner at second and 2 outs. Tigers doing this against Matt Guerrier, who has been really good this year.
Tremendous.
They had the sac fly from Inge back in the fourth. The ground ball by Santiago produced a run in the fourth inning as well. So a lot of small ball leading some runs today as the closer heats up. And Mauer wants time. 2-run 8 for the Tigers. Went around, didn't like the call from home plate umpire Doug Eddings. He's looking back at him. Cabrera being very demonstrative, and Eddings didn't appreciate it. It's been a big day for Miguel. He has a 2-run homer, a single, and he has scored a couple of times. Opportunity here to drive in another insurance run. And 2 on Cabrera. It's going to be Mauer, Morneau, and Kadire when we get to the 9th inning, so it's not going to be easy. The more you can get, the better. With those guys coming up. Driven foul. 15 Tigers hits. Getting close to their season high. They're not quite there yet. Most hits in a game, 19. They've done that twice. 4 short. The Tigers win here today, and they would win 5 of 7 on this homestand as they continue to dominate here at home. The Tigers 35-18 here at Comerica Park this year. They just need to pump up the road numbers and they'll be in really good shape. Two and two. Swing and a miss. Cabrera goes down, and Guerrier finally ends the inning. But it's a very productive inning for the Tigers. They get a couple of runs. We'll go to the ninth. Mauer, Morneau, Kadire, their last chance. AT Rapid Rewind. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Last call here for the Twins. We go to the top of the ninth inning. The Tigers leading this one 8-6, trying to take 2 out of 3 from Minnesota. And Fernando Rodney is on to face Joe Mauer, Justin Morneau, and Michael Kadire. Mauer today 1 for 3 with a single and a walk. 1-1 on Mauer. Mauer is homered against Rodney his career, 2 for 9 overall. Second run, the Tigers picked up a big run, knocked in by Cleat Thomas. 2-2 on Mauer. Tigers have some defensive changes. Ryan Rayburn is in the game now to play left, and Cleat Thomas has moved from left to right. Naglio out of the game. Stern test here for Rodney, trying to get through 3, 4, and 5 in their lineup. Bouncing ball right side. That is out number 1. 4-3 ground out.
The Comcast is telling us that Rodney hit 97 on one of those fastballs to Mauer, and one of his changeup 82. He's anywhere from 80 to 84 with his changeup, and not afraid to throw it in any count. As a matter of fact, he'll lead you off with a changeup.
Justin Morneau with 1 out. Rodney has 22 saves, as many as Bobby Jenks. Fuentes for the Angels leads the way with 31, along with Mariano Rivera.
I guess the good thing about those numbers that Morneau has against Rodney, 6 for 12, is the fact that he does not represent the tying run. Just keep him off the bases.
Fouled away. 1-1.
Where does Rodney rank in saves in the American League?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tied for 6.
Tied for 6.
You would think he was tied for 1 million with the way fans get frustrated with it now. But he's been really good.
He doesn't get a free pass, that's for sure.
No. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. 98. Threw it right by Morneau.
There are not many guys around that have better stuff. You know, whether he goes about his business a little differently than most, not as efficient, but he's got something that a lot of closers don't have, and that's 98, 99, and he's got that swing and miss changeup, which is one of the best in the game.
Whistle foul.
That's what makes guys like Mauer and Morneau so good. They're getting to the fastball in the upper 90s, but in the back of their minds, they're still kind of thinking, he's going to throw me that changeup. And if he makes a mistake with that changeup, they'll hit it hard. All they want to do is foul that fastball off.
Bouncing ball to third. Inge will charge it. And he's out at first base. And a nice pick there by Cabrera. Running scoop there by Inge.
That's why they tell you to keep your glove down close to the ground. The way that play was developing, it looked like he was going to get a hop that was going to jump up on him. But he kept the glove down, and the ball stayed down, and he's able to make this play. You work from the ground up, not the opposite way.
So here's Kadire.
Kadire's had some kind of day today.
$35,000 plus on their feet right now. Trying to get Rodney another save and give the Tigers 2 out of 3 against the divisional opponent. Kadire a double, a single, a homer, 2 RBIs. Already hit for the cycle this year. Once. Swinging a drive way back into left field, and this is going to get the Twins one run closer.
He has had some kind of day.
A huge day for Kadire, just got a little bit bigger. That's his second home run this afternoon. Now it's 8-7. Don't go anywhere yet. Twins are still alive. Three RBI day for Kadire. One-run game now as Rodney faces Delman Young. And he rolls one slowly toward third. Inge charging, barehanding. Got him at first base.
What a play by Inge.
Inge puts an exclamation point on this one with a barehanded play to nip Delman Young.
There's nothing wrong with his knees.
And that is our Mercedes-Benz E-Class Attention Assist of the game. Brandon Inge with the final out.